Hi everybody, IntuitiveEdge here. Welcome once again to my channel. Thanks for joining me. So, I want to take a look at Trump's vice presidential pick, JD Vance. I want to do a spread on him. We're going to be looking at things about him, kind of learning what his motivations are. Is he loyal to Trump and Trump's agenda? That kind of thing. So, I'm going to shuffle up and we'll be right back and get started. All right, so taking a look at JD Vance, I don't know a lot about him. I know there's a lot of mixed feelings about him on Truth Social and on X. A lot of people have misgivings. Perhaps he's said some things in the past that seemed like he wasn't fully supportive of Donald Trump, and so has some people concerned. So the questions that I have, I'll get into those in a minute, but I'm going to shuffle up the cards and let's see what the cards have to say. All right, so I laid out some cards and I paused the video here so I could kind of get my bearings and feel into these a little bit. To be honest, this is a little bit, I don't know if it's troubling or just puzzling. So I'll get into what I'm looking at here. Okay. So I wrote, who is he at his core? And this is a really kind of a strange card to get on that question, because this is a card of being in denial or not really wanting to look at things or having a part of you that's hidden that you don't want to look at. He could have some things that are buried within him. And I'll get into why I'm thinking this as we go. But I'm thinking this is like a buried aspect of his psyche. Perhaps there's some buried trauma or something like that he has not dealt with. That could be from way back in the past. But there could be like a compensating for it. A putting out a showman type of persona that is kind of covering, and this could be on an unconscious level. He may not even realize he's doing this, but I'm thinking he could be compensating for some wound of the past, probably an emotional or psychological or something. I'm not saying he's defective or anything like that. I'm just saying he's got something in his past that is probably undermining who he is and how he shows up. Oftentimes when we have wounds that are unhealed, it can undermine us because we're always going to be making decisions and they're always going to be flavored from the unhealed trauma and not from a genuine place. Okay, all right, next, is he loyal to Donald Trump? Again, with the twos. This is kind of like ambivalent. This is like, you're weighing your options. You're in, you're out, you're looking out for what you want. I think if it suits him, then yes, he's loyal to Donald Trump, but I think he's a little wishy-washy on that point. Will he be loyal to Donald Trump's agenda? Now, this makes me feel a little better. He's got the World card. Again, though, I'm drawn into the artwork as I read tarot, and I'm looking at these roots, and it feels like these roots are kind of like dried up and everything's going up into here. I'm feeling like it's kind of, again, with that Two of Pentacles, whatever is expedient. And I feel like this is pulling up into himself. I feel like he's really kind of a showman. And I think he will be loyal to Donald Trump's agenda, but I think as long as it makes him look good, kind of thing. It's kind of about him a little bit. Okay. What motivates him? Again, an odd card on that. Let me look at this for a minute. So I had to pause for a minute and look at this card kind of and study and see where the energy is on it. This card, this woman here, this person indicated on this card is sitting down And they're kind of being withdrawn into themselves. And there's all these cups coming in, being offered, and this person's kind of like, I don't know. So that is really weird. What motivates him, and it's like, I'm feeling like he's probably one of those kind of people that does not like to be pushed into doing things. He likes to do things on his own time and in his own way, and he does not like to be, he's not going to be anybody's gopher, and he doesn't like to be told what to do. I think he's really going to be, I'm going to do it if this is how I'm going to do it, and this is why I'm going to do it, and this is when, but it's going to be on his terms. It's kind of what I'm getting from that. Okay. Next card, what are his strengths? Okay, this is, again, I'm getting these really strange cards with him. I have to be honest. These cards are just strange, and it gets even stranger, so let's keep going. This card, what are his strengths? We have the Page of Cups. This card can be kind of tricky. It can indicate somebody who's either immature or a little bit dishonest. He could have a strength about that, come to think of it. His strength could be he puts on a good show, and he's really good at convincing people and playing the game and, looking like he's really on board and going along. But this is the kind of, you got something fishy going on. So he could be really good at masking. Again, that's kind of what I picked up with this card earlier. He's got a little bit of something that he's repressed, that is kind of flavoring who he is and how he shows up. And everything is coming from that. So I think that's kind of how that's what he's good at, is kind of being, I don't want to say a con, because that's kind of a harsh word. But he's good at that role acting. Okay. His strengths? What are his weaknesses? Now this, this is a really interesting card to have. What are your weaknesses? And this is like this huge success card. Now this is the Herbal Tarot deck, and I find it funny because these cards are wonderful. I love them, but they have like different herbs that are associated, and then like the different properties of the herbs. There's a whole book that goes along with it. But the herb on this one is marijuana, and I had to laugh when I saw that because what are his weaknesses? Now, I don't know if he's into smoking weed, but I'm not saying he is, and that may not be what this means. But when I tuned into the energy of this, what it was saying to me is excesses. And as a weakness card, he could be prone to excesses. And excesses could be anything. It could be drugs, or it could be something else. But he could be one of those that maybe has a hard time dialing himself back. He's maybe one of those all or nothing kind of guys where you're out there and you're all or nothing. So it could be hard for him to maybe rein himself in, be a little tactful, a little diplomacy. That could be where he kind of maybe needs to work on his character a little bit. Okay. And again, I hope I'm not sounding like I'm picking on him. I'm not trying to. I'm really not. I don't know the guy, and I'm trying to be just laying out what I see, but that's kind of what I'm seeing with him. So, all right, I'm going to keep going. Card number 7. What else do we need to know about him? Okay, so the Justice card comes out. Now, in light of this being right next to that excesses and the weakness card, and then we have this Justice. And for just a brief moment when I was tuning into this, I just got a flit in my mind's eye of this Justice card being like that all or nothing energy. Like, we're gonna come out and we're gonna do this, and we're gonna do it this way, and we're gonna follow the book. It's a little bit harsh. That's what I'm picking up about him. He can be all or nothing and a little bit like harsh. Like sometimes when you have justice. They say justice is blind. It's supposed to be blind because you're not supposed to be, you know, peeking out from under the blindfold and choosing based on certain criteria. It's supposed to be just, okay, did someone break the law or not? What is the sentence or not? But with this, I'm feeling like he's a little bit of the kind of laying down the law in a little bit of a harsh kind of way. He can be harsh. I'll just say that. Not that he is all the time, but he can kind of resort to that, I think. Okay, that's kind of what I'm feeling. Now, this last card, this is the last one here, and I wrote the outcome for him is vice president. Now, when I turned this card over, I immediately was like, uh-oh. And I don't know, I don't know if I even want to say this, but I'll just show you what I got. Okay. King of Pentacles, outcome is vice president. Immediately what came to mind is he going to end up as the president? You know, like if, you know, God forbid something happened to Trump, is he going to actually be in that spot as president? I don't know, and I don't even know if I want to say that. I'm just throwing that out there, but I'm not like saying that's going to be the case. It's just, it's something that popped in my mind as soon as this card turned over. So I'll leave it there until maybe a later time when there's more information on whether that happens or not. But seeing that King of Pentacles is the seat of power and control, and seeing that as the outcome for him for vice president, if he stays as vice president, it could just mean he's very successful. It could mean that he has a very successful run, does very well, but it could, I'm just speculating here that it could mean he ends up as president. So I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't even throw that out there, but so regardless, the King of Pentacles is a very good solid card. However, it can also be prone. The weakness of this card is that there could be some corruption underneath. So we have to be careful with him, with his prone to excesses, whether that power would really kind of get to his head, or if he would be able to moderate that and be kind of more able to be more moderate, I guess. That's what I'm going to say about that. So that's what I get for JD Vance. Again, the cards were a little strange. I had to kind of work through what I was seeing. I do think he's, you know, I just think he has some past issues that are unresolved. And those can always be a challenge when you seek to get into leadership, because being a leader, those kinds of things will make or break you. And they could hinder him, or they could be his greatest ally if he learns to work with those unhealed energies and heal them. If he did that, he could be probably an amazing political figure. But I just think there's some hidden stuff that he needs to work through. Okay, God. This was kind of hard, and I hope I didn't sound like I'm horribly picking on him. That was not my intention. Okay. That's what I got for him. Wish him all the best and hope that he is a good vice president to President Trump. And I hope that all is well. So that's what I got for you. Thanks, guys. All right. I'll be back on here in a little bit. Bye for now.